Right, everyone, this is going to be hopefully an interesting video because I'm going to look at knights. Now, what I've got here is, for those who don't know, a regular knight. It's called it's the Canis Rex, but what I've done is this is the one that I magnetised a while ago so that it could pretty much have any weapon combination I wanted. Now, I'm almost done painting this. I've done, some freehand on it. I went for a kind of forested, trying to go for a tropical forest. So the dark green was the base, and then I've put my attempts at freehand in different ways. I've got Maria Sedekura here. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you this here. Now, this is the Cerastus Knight Lancer, and this is the latest plastic kit from Games Workshop. So they've been making these in resin for a while, and now we have the plastic. So the reason I've got my Knight Gatchawin out is because this is the next night, a part of the Knightly House. Now, I have no idea what I'm going to name this yet, but I think because it's a bigger knight, it's going to have to be called something a bit more, prominent. Anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have a little look at this inside. So let's have a look. Now, you can see quite interestingly about this that this is actually defined as one of the Horus Heresy boxes. So I don't know if that's because they wanted to make it feel predominantly something that would have been seen side by side with the legions. I don't, because obviously these knights are very clearly branded as Warhammer 40,000. So it's interesting that this one in particular is branded as a Horus Heresy. Now, as you can see, I'll just pop Gatchawin out the way, and I'm going to pop open the box. I've heard a lot of stuff about this, so I'm very interested to see what's inside it. Oh, now I'm trying my best, but I've had to really zoom. I've had to really raise my camera up to get this whole box in the camera shot. So I'm very curious about this. It's taller, but I get a distinct impression that the actual carapace is thinner. Now, it'll be nice to do a side-by-side once this is all completed, but let's just bring this knight back and let's start doing some sort of key comparisons here. So the first thing we notice is the actual top is thinner, so there's no doubt about it. The knight definitely seems to be, from the body part if nothing else, a slightly thinner knight. So, that's not a bad thing, but what you've got to remember is this is supposed to be kind of long striding, faster, and it seems to have a dominance of hand to hand within it. So that's an interesting starting point here, that we've got this thinner, less bulky carapace. Again, that kind of sticks with it being a Horus Heresy thing, where the technology is in some ways superior. Now, again, we can get a good idea of how wide this is, or how deep it is, to be fair, not wide, by the size of this. So again, I'm just going to pop that magnetised bit off so I don't keep dropping it. Now, as you can see, we've got, I'm going to assume it goes that way, in which case, we can start to pair it up against there. And again, it doesn't feel as outwards either, so it doesn't feel like as chunky overall on that dimension. So we're only really going to know when it's all together, but it's just nice to kind of get these ideas in our heads. And again, you can see with these parts, it's definitely, if I'm very careful tilting this, It's definitely thinner, and it just does not feel as deep. Now, that isn't a criticism of the model. What I'm looking at here is the comparison of them. There's something about this knight that feels tall and thin, and where we actually start to see the differences coming along is with the kind of design of certain features. So if we look at this here, this feels like either something like a shin guard or something similar on the armour. Now, that, without a doubt, again, it's not quite as fully wrap around if it is a shin part or a shin guard. I'm trying to see what else it could possibly be. But that does... Oh, I see. Right, sorry. It might not be the shin guard. It may, in fact, be... Oh, it's the problem with a fully magnetised model. Bits can knock off. Right. What we've got... I think that's the crotch plate. I think that's actually its crotch plate. So the crotch plate is definitely more lengthened. Not funny. And that's quite an interesting thing as well. So we've got some, some interesting features. They feel the same. So the feeling of faction is there. Okay, I'm 100% there on that feeling. It definitely feels like they belong together. But there's just like a more streamlined feeling to it. Now we can start to see how potentially tall this thing is, though, when we start looking at that. Now that, I do believe, is our guard for the bottom. And we start to see that when we compare those two together, that has significantly more length. Now, I have noticed something, however, about this, that... Ooh, this is good. Right, look, this is why it's been branded as Horus Heresy. Look at that. It looks like we have the ability to go full-blown Eye of Horus on this one, or keep it a bit more holy. Well, not holy, it's the Horus Heresy, loyal. So actually, that's quite an interesting design choice. So you've got these two, obviously, leg sections, I'm going to say. You've got our shins, again, so you've got the option of making it loyalist or traitor. Tough one for me, this, because, well, these are loyalist, there's no doubt about that, but I've got a Night Lord for the Horus Heresy and an Imperial Fists. Now, obviously, my these are loyalists. But it's nice to see this work being done directly into it. So I'm pleased about that. I think it's... And the fact that you get what appears to be a spare part, also gives us some kind of options for making rubble or anything like that, or... it's definitely an interesting thing that we could make some, like, destroyed components. Now... Again, let's get the shoulder guards compared. So again, not as wide, not as long, but then these are latticed pieces as I understand it. So one kind of slides over the other, again, giving you significantly longer limbs. Everything about this feels elongated. There's no doubt about it. Now, again, we have what looks like weapon options. One thing that I understand about this, though, is the weapon options at this time are not particularly, very diverse. So that could, that could be an issue at this stage, that we've only got one possible weapon option for this kit. That doesn't mean, though, that in the future they won't do like they did with these, which is expand the kit to have additional weapon options as like an extra sprue. In fact, that's very much a big thing with the Horus Heresy, that they kind of put up a... the best way to describe it is in-app purchases. If you want the extra weapons, you got to pay the extra prices. So again, though, look at, right, you can start to see here where I really hate picking this up with my bare hands. It took me ages to get the paint job on it. The head, again, is significantly larger. You know, if you look at just the, ooh, I hope I'm in shot there. So the head here is significantly a larger piece. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. This is very nice. As I said, the only thing that's immediately knocking me is the single weapon option. But that's something that I suspect will change in the future. We also know that Forge World have a habit of bringing these, you know, additional weapon options for quite a lot of models. There's always going to be a debate between Forge World and Games Workshop about what kits they turn to plastic, because when they really, it's probably actually better for Titans to be made of plastic now than resin, whereas at one point resin was the only real way to go to massive scaling. With the way that 3D modeling works now, I think it can be done a lot simpler. So it looks to me like weapon wise we are limited. Now I'm not going to complain about that at this phase, because as I said, I believe that this will be remedied later on. However, it means that I could magnetize in preparation for potential changes. However, I don't plan on doing that, because I want to actually just have this as a single miniature, basically. Unlike this, it took ages to magnetize this one, by the way. It was absolutely pain. You can see on my videos on it. Then, so there we go. And you know, just to finish off, I suppose I'll just give you a quick look at the transfers that come with this as well. So again, some people like transfers. I am not a big fan of transfers. I'm trying my best to practice my freehand. You know, I'll reserve judgment. I'll let you judge whether or not you think my freehand's coming along or not. I hope it's getting better. You know, I know that's not perfect, but you know, I've never done a little woman before. That's my what's it called? That's my little saint. Based upon the spirit of Manta Rayat. So yeah, you've got quite a few little transfers on it, warning symbols and things like that you can add, fire decals, you know, fine detailed scripting, different night houses that you can, you know, choose to add into. So again, you know, those little choices that you've got, I'm actually finding it quite interesting. So yeah, you've got quite a few different options. Outcrust, very they would work with the Death Corps, wouldn't they? Yeah, so you've got some quite interesting little options here, which I quite like, you know. So but I'm probably going, obviously, because I'm going for this this foresty green approach with my knights, it's going to have to be a choice that I make along the way. Now, I'm just having one last check of something, and it's this here. Now, you can see the shield. I don't know, I was kind of expecting, because I haven't really seen one up close yet and had much of a look, but it would have been nice if they'd done a thing in here. Some clear glass or some, you know, clear plastic, so that you could actually make it look like it's lit up. So that would have been a nice addition, to be quite honest. I don't see that unless I'm missing it, no. So overall, it looks like a really good kit. This is going to be quite an interesting build, to say the least. I'm not going to build it today. I think I need to really plan out exactly what I want to do. But that's kind of early review, a pre-build review of this Cerastus Knight Lancer. So it's definitely taller than this. but it's kind of offset by the fact that it's thinner, and that gives it a distinct impression that it's a mobile, fast moving knight rather than what this is, which in a lot of ways is a solid platform really to actually fire guns from. Okay then, hope you liked that video. Hope you've enjoyed seeing what one of these looks like. Hopefully very soon I will be doing the build where I'm really going to have to decide what position I can put this in, because apparently it's really opposable and I can't wait to see that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you for the build.